And it's given me a way as a leader to make this organization make sense to me. That's been really, really important. It's an experience that is natural, it's intuitive, and yet it's very powerful.
Well, I think in the past, there was a lot of chasing the miracle or chasing the wind to meet an immediate need for the organization.
The uncertainty and the ambiguity that revolves around nonprofit work is sometimes not so easy to identify because it seems like you're so purpose-driven that certainly it's clear what you're doing. But the truth is it's not until you make it clear.
There are certainly challenges that we all face in terms of, board governance, in terms of talent acquisition.
We're having to operate with less resources at a time when there's greater need.
The politics of the work that we increasingly find ourselves in the middle of.
Really only those organizations that step forward and learn to do their job better and more efficiently, in my view, are going to survive.
And in our organization, being a mission-driven nonprofit, there's a lot of creativity, there's a lot of vision, a lot of passion. And to free that up, get released from some of the wrong kind of tension so that we could enable people, empower people to actually engage in the right kind of tension, the creative tension.
The mission and the vision are important components, but they're not enough. There has to be something more.
So Growth River came at a time on the tail end of a strategic planning process that, while had narrowed down our vision and our mission and narrowed down our scope of services, it did not give us the tools we needed to build an effective service delivery system and an effective lens in which to build new business opportunities. And that's where the Growth River process came in.
So we had, as an organization, 2 failed attempts to really have strategic planning embolden the organization and bring new energy into the organization. Instead, the experience had left the organization drained, had left morale fairly low.
And not just the normal, what's our strategy for the next 10 years, but actually giving us the tools needed to talk and think about strategy the right way.
Of all of the strategic planning work that I've done in my career, this particular work that we did together was among the most real, among the most influential, and changed how I thought about my organization and also how I thought about myself as a leader. I have to ask myself, okay, if I weren't doing everybody else's job, what would I be doing with my time?
But it's almost as if in certain situations people have experienced a rebirth in the organization. It's like they've started over, they hit the reset button. And because they've had an aha moment where they're like, wait a second, even in this moment, which I know this exercise is an exercise, it's not real life, I'm still having the same feelings I had in the workplace. And so I think Growth River does a great job of recreating that, but in a safer environment where people can actually have more of a self-awareness moment.
I would also say that it becomes a safe space, even though it's not intuitive or clear at the very beginning, that you really can bring up the things that are unspoken.
I think it also taught us that if we weren't having conflict, we weren't dealing with the difficult issues inside our organization. And so it reframed for the group the role of conflict in growth. And for us, who were a pretty conflict-adverse group at the time, and we sort of judged the quality of our meetings by how fast we could come to consensus, we reframed that to say, if we've come to consensus too quickly and 3 people on the team have been silent, what does that silence mean about this consensus?
Something that right away that was introduced as being one of the values of the Growth River work was developing a common language that we could speak to each other with. And even by the end of 2 days, we were already learning the language of Growth River, which helped enormously when we were trying to communicate. It helped get us on the same page.
We all have very different experiences about work. And the Growth River Lexicon has given us a way to talk with each other that doesn't waste time. And we know instantly what we're talking about now.
That then opened the door for us to have all kinds of conversations, which before that had been very difficult conversations. So having participated in the coaching alongside the organizational development work was really important for me as a leader, because I realized going into it that I was only going to be able to take the team as far as I was willing to go myself.
One of the, I think, greatest gifts around the Growth River process was having a team of advisors that as I continued to evolve as a leader, that I could go to and say, hey, I'm not especially sure about what to do about this opportunity.
Our engagement with Growth River has been nothing less than revolutionary.
I think where Growth River is unique is this combination of concrete strategies that give you some really technical ways to solve some of the problems coming at you, and also not to let you off the hook.
And now, whether it's at the executive level or the board level, you have a structure around why and how we go after certain funding that's aligned with our organization, as opposed to, that looks great, let's go after that.
We found people have been performing at a much higher rate. We've been more efficient in our delivery. We're actually, as I said, surviving a financial crisis that we probably would not have survived had we not utilized our resources in a very directed way, because now the team can play with each other in ways that they could not before.
I think that the future of Hope Worldwide and its destiny is only going to be in part explained by me and my vision. I think it's going to be explained by creating an organization that captures the vision of its many parts. You call it an evolutionary organization. That's where I would like to see Hope Worldwide go, to where it operates not so much out of its system, but out of its beliefs and its desires and its purposes. But it does so effectively and efficiently.